I thought it'll be a great experience. I've never done something like this before, and I knew that I'll be meeting a lot of musicians from different countries and getting to know about how they approach their music and their roots, and probably imbibe a little bit from them into my music and expand as a musician, expand as a human being.
I knew Indian music from CDs. I listened to it. I really loved it, the way they build up the forms, and also consisted of a lot of improvisation. And obviously, it's really a kind of very well checked out music style, very organized. But it doesn't sound so organized for Western ears, actually. So for me, it was really something to get to know those musicians who really know what's going on and have information about their techniques, their language, and so I could understand more about how it's organized. And this was really, we had some players who were into this kind of traditional Carnatic and also Northern Indian music with a slightly different approach, but anyhow, they could really show us some techniques, and this was very nice. And I think we'll also use some of those techniques in my music, of course putting it into a different context, in a Western context, especially the rhythm, what they do with the rhythm. It was a nice experience. Also, you know, a lot of the things are also transported when with talks, and we all got friends, and we hang out together, and a lot of the knowledge we shared, like also in a non-musical way, you know, just the common question: how do you work? Which kind of music do you play? What kind of music do you play? What's the relation between tradition and avant-garde? And those kind of questions. It was also really interesting.
So I stopped playing guitar for a while, for maybe a year or two, and I was just traveling, trying to meet different people from different art forms, trying to listen to a lot of music which I hadn't heard before, see if I can get influence from that, see if that can open up new avenues in my head. And that was a great learning period where I was just experimenting with different guitar tunings, trying to figure out what I have to say. I knew that, you know, I wanted to say something, but I didn't know how to go about it, or what is the shape, how do I shape it. So these 2 years when I was really away from the whole cover band scene and trying to figure out what my voice and identity is, I started listening to music from different countries, and that's when I fell in love with South American music, and I got some instruments from Bolivia and Argentina. And at the same time I got exposed to Indian classical music through one little album which was lying in my hard drive, which I had not heard before, called Journey by Ustad Ali Akbar Khan. That kind of opened up so many things in my head about why I'm doing music and what am I, you know, what is the purpose, and how can you put two different cultures together without, you know, stepping onto one another's territory and still make it sound musical. And I'm still learning. It's been a great experience meeting so many different kinds of musicians from different cultures over here. Things that I hadn't heard before, things that I'm not, you know, aware of. I got to know a lot of these things over here. So it's been a great learning experience, definitely.
My background is, I would say, influenced by jazz. I studied jazz piano. But I also have there's also a huge influence by avant-garde music, especially kind of new music, also electronic music, and in my music and the music of our my colleagues, we try to combine those roots and make something new. A lot of the music is based on improvisation, I would say.
We usually come around noon over here, and rehearsals are with different little projects that we have been forming with the musicians, and all of them are different. You know, they all come from different backgrounds, and what's been happening is someone has an idea, the other musician, he brings in his own other idea and see maybe, you know, we can take it over there, which the initial idea could have been so different. So we go into a lot of new lanes and by lanes which we haven't been before, and that is resulting in a very interesting exploration which we'll hear tomorrow in the final concert.